Happy birthday! Be careful what you wish for. Hilarious. I giggled at the ominous warning scribbled on the manila envelope. A friend of mine who was studying archaeology abroad sent me an old relic for my birthday. I was a huge D&D nerd and loved to collect anything that I could use as a prop. She had unearthed it at a temple in some village I'd never heard of in South America and thought I would get a kick out of it. It was a knobby stick wrapped in leather bands with a crystal seated at the crown. Apparently, it granted you 3 wishes, but then left you with a curse. The severity of that curse depended on the weight of the wishes. The more you asked for, the greater the curse. I rubbed my thumb over the weathered leather and tapped my fingernail against the white crystal. Now, what to wish for? I glanced at the clock. 2:37 a.m. Ugh. I wish my classes were all canceled tomorrow, I muttered, thinking how great it would be to just stay in my pajamas all day binging my favorite shows. Suddenly, the crystal glowed ever so slightly in my hand. I dropped it on my desk as if it had burnt my hand. No way. I picked it up and thoroughly inspected it. Nothing unusual, and it certainly wasn't glowing now. I chuckled at myself and decided it must have just caught a refraction of the light from my lamp. He let out a big yawn and decided to turn in for the night. Classes start at 9 a.m. after all. Beep, beep, beep. I slammed my fist on the alarm and silenced it. I rolled to my side and willed myself to stand and then shambled to the bathroom like the undead. While brushing my teeth, I heard a ding come from my cell phone. I glanced at the screen and saw a text from Alice. Hey, no classes today. I guess there's some sort of gas leak? Whoa. I looked over to the relic on my desk. There's no way. It's just a coincidence. Yeah, just a freak coincidence. I picked up the stick and looked into the crystal. A nagging doubt hung in my mind. What if? I decided to wish for something else. Something overly specific that would serve as real evidence to the legitimacy of granted wishes. I wish I had $1 million. It was a classic wish, one we'd all dreamed of making once we grew up and realized how difficult it was to make a living in an unstable economy. The crystal glowed to a brilliant white this time. It was undeniable. I sat it down and tried to steady my shaking hands. Another ding, and then a ka-ching sounded from my phone. I took a deep breath and then picked it up. New deposit to bank account XX73. My heart thundered in my chest as I frantically typed in the password to my mobile banking app. Checking account balance. $1,262.17. I squealed in delight and paced my dorm room for an hour, periodically refreshing my banking app to make sure it was real. I laughed, I cried, I worried that the IRS was going to get me, and then I just laughed and cried again. What do I do now? Well, I did the only thing a girl could do with $1 million. I spent the entire day shopping. That night, my entire bedroom floor was covered in bags full of dresses with pockets, every flavor of Chuck Taylors you can imagine, new manga, D&D figurines, and even a new bust of Willem Dafoe for my shelf. Don't ask. I was flipping through my new things when a glint from the crystal caught my eye from the desk. One more wish. The thought of the curse did cross my mind. I considered never making my third wish, that an engorged bank account was probably plenty enough. This way, I'd avoid the curse forever. But I was young, and a funny thing about youth, you still have this fantastical belief that nothing truly bad could happen to you. So I grabbed the little staff and held it close, pondering what I wanted most in the world. I looked over to the mirror by my nightstand. My hair was unruly, my belly folded over my pants like dough from a biscuit can, and a nice sized zit was emerging on my cheek. A dull ache filled my chest. I was lonely. I wish someone would love me, that they would love me fiercely and unconditionally. The The crystal illuminated so brightly it was almost blinding. This time, the heat really did burn my hand, and I dropped it immediately. It smoked on the shag rug at the foot of my bed, and I quickly kicked it away onto the hardwood floor. A blackened scorch mark smoldered on the rug where it had been. I didn't notice anything the next few days. I wasn't sure what I expected. Perhaps a knight in shining armor riding his steed into my microbiology class demanding my hand in marriage. Okay, maybe nothing that elaborate, but it was a nice image in my head. I had just gotten home to my apartment, and as I was unlocking the door, I noticed a note wedged into the frame. I took it inside and read it. My love, I've watched you from afar, but soon we will be together forever. The things I've already done for you are but a whisper of the things to come. With boundless love, M. My heart raced. Who is M? And what have they already done for me? The thought of someone watching me from afar was a little concerning, but I was so giddy at the possibilities and the attention, I quickly dismissed it. Over the next week, I received more letters, poems, and countless bouquets of roses. I was being courted by a stranger, and it was sadly the closest thing to a real relationship I'd ever had. I felt like I was living in a romance novel. Everything was going great until I received a package from my mysterious admirer. It was a small rectangular box with a pink bow left on the hood of my car. I quickly opened it in the campus parking lot and recoiled at the gift inside. I screamed as I flung it from me. A single index finger rolled across the asphalt. Bile rose in my throat as I read the note. My dearest love, I wanted to give you a piece of me so that you could take me with you wherever you go. That we will always be together. I know we haven't met yet, but we will very soon. I didn't want to send my ring finger, although it was my first thought, but I hope that someday it will hold our hold. Eternally yours, M. I frantically scanned the parking lot, searching for anyone who might be M. Crowds of students flocked to their vehicles. No one seemed out of place. I got in the car and booked it to my apartment. I paced across my living room, fighting the urge to hyperventilate. After I calmed down, I decided to write M a letter and leave it in the doorframe. M, I did not like the gift you left me. It was unpleasant, to say the least. I'm not sure we should meet. I was flattered at first, but now I'm not so sure. Please give me some space and don't contact me for a while. Sincerely, Jessica. He would surely get it since he seemed to leave notes at my door on a daily basis, which brought a new horrifying thought to the surface, spiraling me into a dread and worry. He knows where I live. He knows where I go to class. A freak show who would send me his own finger in a box. Knew my every move. I didn't sleep well that night. I had a mild panic attack every time I heard someone walking down the halls of my apartment building, wondering if it was him. I woke the next morning to find a poster board duct taped to my front door. It looked finger-painted in a rusty red color. My love, I'm sorry you didn't enjoy my latest gift. I thought it was deeply thoughtful, but I see the error of my thinking now. I beg for your forgiveness and hope you understand that I can't just give you space. You are mine. I've written this letter in my own blood so that you can see how much I care about you. You are my everything, M. I was mortified. A horrifying realization struck me that this was the curse. The curse had given me someone who loved me unconditionally, indeed, but the love of a psychopath was not what I had in mind. I didn't know what else to do, so I called the police. They arrived in the apartment, and I sat with them, showing them the letters, the blood-covered poster board, and finally told them about the finger. The detective said it was unfortunate that I didn't still have it. He could have ran it for prints, but understood why I had left it. He told me that I had a textbook stalker, and that he was very mentally unstable. He was worried that the passions of this M would continue to grow and that my life could be in jeopardy. The detective said he would leave a car in the parking lot of the apartments tonight, and the unit would watch over me the next few nights while he investigated the matter. That night, I lay in bed staring at the popcorn-plastered ceiling, afraid and regretting ever making that last wish. I checked several times through the blinds to make sure that I saw the squad car out front, and it was always there. Finally, drifted off to sleep. I was jolted awake by a commotion coming from the hallway. My heart thundered in my throat as I quickly slipped on my hoodie and crept to the front door. I squinted, peering out into the people, but I couldn't see anything in the hall. I opened the door slowly and stepped out into an unimaginable horror. The policeman sat slumped over against the wall next to my door, his bowels cradled in his hands in a bloody ruin. Above his head, written in blood, "You are mine, and I am yours. See you soon, M." I screamed and collapsed onto the carpeted floors. Neighbors spilled out of their doorways, and so began a chorus of screams and cries of terror. The last thing I remembered was someone standing over me calling 911. It's been 3 weeks now, and they still haven't found him. I dropped out of my classes for the semester and moved back home to my parents. Local PD have watched our house the entire time, and there hasn't been any sign of him until today. I got another letter, and no one seems to have seen anyone to leave it at our doorstep. My father didn't let me read it, but by how pale his face got, I know it's not good news. He turned it over to the detectives, and they are stepping up their investigation. I'm not sure what to do. I only hope to be free of this curse before it kills me. Be careful what you wish for.
Good evening, everyone. Giggles the Croupier here. Just wanted to thank all of my incredible patrons for supporting me. Tam B, Jen Miser, Skymara Ravenswood, Melissa Perez, Bernard Jackson, Leaf Ninja, Roy Larimer, Mr. Creepypasta, Neon Scoundrel, and William Delphin. I'm still figuring out rewards for Patreon, but if you would still like to support, click the link in the description, and I will hopefully have something for you soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.